I still remember the exact moment my heart broke. The ballroom glowed with golden lights. Laughter echoed through the room as guests admired the elegant decorations. It was my wife's birthday, and I had spent weeks secretly planning every detail. I wanted her to feel loved, celebrated, and special. Seeing her smile made every sacrifice feel worth it. She looked beautiful as she welcomed friends and family. Watching her laugh, I silently thanked God for giving me a wife I believed I would grow old with. When dinner was announced, everyone walked toward their seats. Naturally, I headed for the chair beside my wife. I smiled as I reached for it. She leaned closer and whispered just loud enough for me to hear. "Not here, sit with the guest." I froze. For a second, I thought she was joking. Then she turned toward a man standing only a few feet away, her wealthy ex-boyfriend. With a warm smile, she said, "You should take this seat." He looked at me with a smug grin before sitting beside my wife as though he belonged there. The room became painfully quiet. Then someone laughed. Another person smiled. Soon several members of her family were whispering to one another while staring directly at me. No one defended me, not even my wife. I stood there feeling like a stranger at my own table. Every sacrifice I had made for our marriage flashed through my mind. The overtime hours, the canceled dreams, the promises, everything suddenly felt meaningless. For a brief moment, I wanted to argue. I wanted to ask her why. I wanted everyone to know the truth. But instead, I slowly fixed my jacket, forced a calm smile, and quietly said, "Carry on." Everyone thought I had accepted the humiliation. Everyone believed I was too weak to respond. What they didn't know was that I had already discovered a secret months earlier. And before this birthday party ended, every single person laughing at me would wish they hadn't. Stay with me until the end. Because what happened next turned the happiest birthday celebration into the most unforgettable night of their lives. After stepping away from the table, I found a quiet seat in the far corner of TH Ballroom. From there, I watched everything unfold. My wife laughed comfortably beside her ex while guests raised their glasses as if nothing unusual had happened. Watching them together hurt more than I can describe, but something hurt even more: the realization that no one seemed surprised. It was almost as if everyone except me had expected this moment. Her parents kept praising her ex, reminding everyone how successful he had become. Her cousins joked that some people were simply meant to be together. Every sentence felt like another knife in my chest. Just then, my phone vibrated. It was a message from my attorney. "Everything is prepared. The documents are ready whenever you decide." I stared at the screen and quietly smiled. Months earlier, I had discovered messages between my wife and her ex. Although they insisted they were only reconnecting as friends, their conversations told a very different story. Instead of confronting her immediately, I stayed silent. I wanted the truth to reveal itself naturally. Tonight it finally had. There was something else nobody knew. Everyone believed I was an ordinary man struggling to keep up financially. They admired her wealthy ex because of his expensive watches, luxury cars, and designer suits. What they didn't know was that 6 months earlier I had quietly sold my business for several $1,000,000. I never told anyone because I wanted to know who loved me for who I was, not for my bank account. That birthday party answered my question. I stood up, walked confidently toward the stage, and politely asked the DJ if I could borrow the microphone. The music stopped. Every guest turned toward me. My wife looked confused. "What are you doing?" she whispered. I smiled politely. "I'd like to give my wife one last birthday gift." The audience clapped. I removed a sealed envelope from my jacket. Inside were divorce papers. The room became completely silent. My wife's smile disappeared instantly. She whispered, "This isn't funny." "I know," I replied calmly. "That's why I'm serious." I thanked everyone for attending before explaining that respect is the foundation of every marriage. Love can survive hard times. Money can come and go. But public humiliation destroys trust in a single moment. I admitted that I had known about her emotional relationship with her ex for months. I simply wanted to see whether she would choose her marriage or her past. Tonight she made her choice. I placed the divorce papers on the birthday table. Then I slowly removed my wedding ring. Looking at her ex, I smiled and said, "You wanted my seat." He nodded nervously. "You can have my place in her life too." Nobody laughed anymore. Her parents lowered their heads. Several guests quietly walked away. Her ex stood up without saying a word and left the ballroom through the nearest exit. My wife burst into tears and begged me to stay. She apologized over and over, promising everything would change. But some wounds cannot be repaired with apologies. I wished her a happy birthday one final time. Then I turned around and walked toward the exit. For the first time in years, I didn't feel defeated. I felt free. Months later, my life looked completely different. I moved to another city, invested my money wisely, and built a peaceful future surrounded by people who genuinely respected me. One afternoon, my phone buzzed again. It was a message from my ex-wife. I lost everything. I finally understand your worth. Can we please talk? I looked at the message for several seconds. I finally understand your worth. Can we please talk? I looked at the message for several seconds. Then I quietly deleted it. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't proving someone wrong. It's refusing to return to the place where they made you feel worthless. That birthday party ended my marriage. But it also gave me something far more valuable: my self-respect. And once you choose self-respect, no amount of regret from others can ever make you look back. Respect cannot be forced. Love cannot survive humiliation. The people who truly value you will never make you feel small in front of others. Sometimes walking away isn't losing, it's the first step toward winning your life back.